What's going on, y'all? It's Mason Bleasdell, your Austin real estate agent, and I love these neighborhood tours because it's a really cool way for me to share with y'all, especially a community that I'm working with a client in, or I have one of you guys like reach out to me, you're relocating, and hey, what do you think about this? These are super cool opportunities for that. I also love to include home tours and such, but every once in a while I come across something that's just a little bit unique, a brand new neighborhood, something a little bit different in a different part of town, and that is exactly where we are right now. We are in East Austin at a brand new community, model home is not even built yet, called Loyola, and I am super excited to bring you this tour. If you're thinking about new construction in East Austin, to be honest, is a pretty rare thing, especially in a neighborhood setting like we've got here. You're not going to want to miss this tour.
Alrighty, y'all, so starting off, obviously, like I mentioned in the intro, this is a brand new community. There's very few closed homes. The model home is not even built yet, so there's not going to be a ton to show you. It's also a smaller community, which of course, being in East Austin is kind of expected, since it is a little bit more of that urban type of community. Now, a couple of things I would love to point out here, especially if you're doing some research on this community and you've come across like some things that look a little funny. So first and foremost, yes, these homes are not condos. They do own their own yard. They are smaller yards. Obviously, this is an urban community. You're going to have a little bit more of that city urban kind of feel. But you do own your own yard, and you'll notice too, Milestone, the builder that's building out all of these homes, you'll notice that all of these only have a quote one-car garage on the front half. Now, that is not only a one-car garage. All of these houses are built with two-car tandems. So super great, whether you're putting two cars in the garage or not, if you're using that as storage. And a couple of these floor plans actually have the garage facing out on garage doors on both sides. So if you want to use half of the garage as an office, if you want to use it as a home gym, there's a lot of really cool perks that come with that. So now that we've gotten one of the biggest points, that people might bring up out of the way, let's talk a little bit about where we are. So of course we are in East Austin. We are right off of Toll Road 183. Now you're tucked back in here far enough that it's not really a noise problem. You're not going to hear honking horns and such. But we are just 15 minutes or so from the airport. You're about 15 minutes downtown. And we are in East Austin here. So with that comes access, super easy access to all of the trails and park systems over here. East Austin's also known, if you aren't familiar with Austin, for restaurants, live music, jazz clubs. There's really cool speakeasies down here. If you aren't familiar with the neighborhood and you're curious to know a little bit more, reach out. I'd love to send you just some things to do. It's a really cool neighborhood. And to have a development like this here, especially a price point in the 500s, it's almost unbeatable. Now, a couple of other points that come with having, being in East Austin. If you were not familiar with the way that Texas property taxes are set up, property taxes are not based on zip code. It's not based on city. There's a whole lot that goes into it. I can expound upon that a little bit more in depth if you'd like to, but there are different taxing entities that all total up to the tax rate that you pay on every year. Now, the benefit of being in, an older part of Austin, unlike some suburbs like Hutto or Manor, for example, that have really high tax rates, this area doesn't because all the infrastructure is already here. So you've got a 1.8% tax rate. The HOA fee, as of the time of recording this, is only $60 a month. So again, it goes into that total picture of affordability. If you're looking at a home here, which is in the mid 500s, you get so much for your money, and it's not going to be a huge expense to keep it going forward. Assuming you one day want to turn this into an investment home, whether you want to, live here with your family and upgrade in the future, you just never know. So having those carrying costs, so to speak, pretty low here is definitely a huge benefit. Now let's talk a little bit about Milestone Builders. Now, of course, I wish I could show you the model. It's just not built yet, so we will come back when it is. But you'll notice a couple of things about Milestone that make them a little bit unique. Now, they've been building in Austin and all over the Austin area for a very long time and have a really good reputation. And you'll notice some of the things that they have with their construction here. You'll notice, masonry construction, obviously, whether that's hardy board for that board and batten style, of course, that is a concrete material, resistant to termites, super weatherproof, all of those things. But you'll notice little things too. They've got lots of nice windows in these floor plans. They do things like have the 30-year architectural shingles. Austin, for example, is not known for many natural disasters, but we do get hailstorms from time to time. That's what replaces most people's roofs, myself included. So having a little bit thicker shingle, having a builder that's willing to spend a little bit of extra money to do things like that really does make a difference, and is a good sign of a good house. You'll also notice some things that they do here, trying to have kind of front porch, a little more of that cottagey style. There's some really fun front doors in this community, for example, trying to give a little bit of that East Austin personality in with this community. Couple of other things too, as with a lot of the communities in this area, of course there are not many, but many of them are condoized. This is not a condoized community. Now, for many different rules, Texas state does not define condos as sharing a wall like a lot of other states do. It's based on total lot square footage and a couple of other little nuances that come with it in terms of fire code. But this is not that. These are single family homes. You own your lot, of course. The roads around here are not fire lanes. You can park in them. For example, if you've got guests over, you don't have to worry about parking problems like a lot of the communities around here do, making it nearly impossible to host. You don't have that problem here, so you're really well covered. Of course, little things about being in East Austin too, you're close to everything. All of your daily items, your grocery stores down the road, restaurants, coffee shops, gyms, all of those things are within 10 minutes max.
Y'all, thanks so much for joining on this tour. Now, if you're curious about this community, want to know a little bit more, want to see about some opportunities, there is some inventory coming in May, June of 2024 that's available as of the time of recording this video. There's also, as you can see behind me, lots available. There's some really cool stuff. If you're curious about the lifestyle, if you want an agent that works for you to aggressively not only find the right house, but also, help guide you through the process of finding the right lifestyle. Especially if you're new to Austin, that's the biggest part, that's the hardest to get. There's houses for sale everywhere. What's most important is finding the right spot for you and your family. If I can be that resource for you, I'd love to. Again, reach out anytime. My personal contact info is right there for you. I'll see you guys next time.